thing that everybody's talking about today.
Yeah, I mean, that was Tipperary on sound Michael last year. I mean, they absolutely blitzed Waterford from the start, you know, and I mean, continued on, I suppose, I mean, for long phases in the championship, you know, and to lose out against Kilkenny, you know. So, I mean, I just look at the style of Tipperary this year compared to last year. Last year you had no or this year you have no Lark Harbour for long periods of the National League, and they just went to different variation of their game. It was a shorter game. I mean, last year we seen the goals that were created for Lar were long balls into the square and stuff like that. Lar was running onto the breaking ball and bang into the back of the net. This time round, they probably looked at the last year's All-Ireland final and said to themselves, we came a bit unstuck in the All-Ireland final with that game plan, because Lar was held by Jackie Turrell. The long ball game wasn't working, and they said we need to maybe go down a shorter route in this. And I mean, it's you need a bit of variation, but once they want to overdo it. I mean, we saw Clare last night in Ennis, or in Thurles, to me, a lot of short passing that was needless realistically. I mean, the game of hurling is about hitting the ball long, hitting it into the key areas where you can actually be a scoring threat. And it'll be interesting with Lar back in the equation today. Will they go that short game, or will they go the long game that has caused Waterford big problems here last year?
The peculiar thing, sir, looking back at last year's match, although everybody remembers the way it finished, the flaking basically that Waterford got, but for long periods the first half there was tit for tat, there wasn't too much in it, and then suddenly the floodgates burst.
Yeah, well, Waterford picked their team last year, Michael, to kind of contain Tip. Brickwell started full back. They had their team really out of position. Now looking at their team today, it looks the strongest team to have. Lawler is back full back, Welch is back centre back, Moran is playing very well wing back, Malumphey centre field, and up front, like Seamus Prendergast is playing like a man inspired. Young Mahoney is back. Maurice Shannon, like his confidence, is back playing good in the air. When his confidence, he can be very good, like. And in front you have Shane Welch and John Milan, who usually plays well. They have their best team out today. Sure, last year hurt. Now they did regroup the next Sunday after last year, so I'm expecting a big performance from them. But going back to the Lark Harbour thing, he's picked wing forward. I still expect he could be going in going corner, and maybe Noel McGrath could come out wing, or even go in centre. He did well before in Brick Welch, and the Bonner go wing forward. But like, it's not as clear cut. Everyone had the bookies, and everyone had made Tip really hot favourites. It's hard enough to live with it. You saw Kilkenny 2 weeks ago against Galway, and even last night, like, you know, like the Tip Clare match was anyone's game really. But you saw Cork hot favourites, and like they got a lot of goals in the first half, and yet the extra written for a long time. Okay, they pulled away in the end. Hurling can take a life of its own, and today I'm expecting a great one. I'm expecting Waterford really to push it up the Tip.
Well, hopefully they will. Declan Ryan came in as the Tipperary manager last year, and after that sensational Munster final win, well, his star was definitely in the ascendant. So this year you feel an All-Ireland title might be required. Michael Ryan took over earlier this year as the Waterford manager, and after a bumpy start, well, he now leads them into a Munster final. We met up with the two men recently to gather their thoughts on this afternoon's big match.
There's a lot of expectation in Tip at the moment, and obviously it'll be the same going into the Munster final against Waterford. But you know, we know in Tip that any day we go out, if we perform to, or you know, what we're capable of, then we'll give a good account of ourselves.
I think every management team has their way of doing things, and we've probably gone back a little bit more to the traditional way of Waterford hurling. We'd like everybody to express themselves within a framework, because we think, you know, at the end of the day, hurling is a game of instinct, and you know, it's not like a game of PlayStation. You can't put it up on the board and expect everybody to follow it regimentally. So we've gone back probably traditionally to the style of hurling, maybe that we played under Justin McCarthy. I mean, that served us well in the past, so we'd like to think that that can take us forward.
It was one tough day for Tip, you know. I suppose everything went well for us on the day, and very little went right for Waterford on the day. And you know, you'll have days like that. Anyone that's been involved in team management or as a player knows that some days everything will go right for you, and other days that you're going to struggle. So everything went right for us last year, but I don't think it'll have any bearing at all on the Munster final this year. You know, it's Waterford under new management now, and they've reintroduced some of the older guys, and they've found a couple of new players, and you know, in Tip we've found a couple of new guys as well. So I think it'll be a completely different game.
A lot of fellas will want to make up for last year, and they'll want to atone for last year. And we know damn well, you know, the Munster final is coming up against Tipperary. We can't win this game in the first 20 minutes. But we could lose this game in the first 20 minutes.
When you play the game, you know, winning or losing is one thing, but if you play to your potential, there's some satisfaction in that. And I suppose any team in the championship this year that plays to their potential will be reasonably happy, regardless of the result.
The general public and the press made a big deal out of the fact that Davy knew Waterford inside out. Absolutely. My theory was that the Waterford players knew Davy inside out as well, and they knew the way he would respond, and they knew the way he was thinking. And for us, I mean, it was simply an opportunity to get to the Munster final. Davy was scarcely mentioned in our training. We didn't mention it. We concentrated on the things that we do ourselves. You only control what you can do yourselves. We worked very, very hard at that. We decided that for the Clare game, we'd give it every single ounce we had. It was a huge game for both teams, but also it was an opportunity to get into a Munster final and avoid some tricky qualifiers. So by winning that match, we moved on probably a couple of steps up the ladder, and now we faced Tipperary.
I think we've put in a better pre-season this year, and I think that's shown in our performances in the championship to date. You know, we've come very strong in the last 10 minutes against Limerick, and we've battled it out very well against Cork in the Munster semi-final. And no doubt we're going to need all that with us today, the Munster final against Waterford.
They're widely accepted as being one of the two best teams in the country. You know, they found their form again. They'll be out, they'll go for the juggler early on. I think, you know, the first 20 minutes is going to be vital. We've got not just to start well and play well, we've got to put down a marker from the point of view of our own performance. We've got to work hard in defence. We've got to work hard all over the pitch. We've got to start getting scores early on and make people realise that this is a good Waterford team.
I think we're farther on than we were last year. I think we're fitter, and I think we're stronger, and I think our panel is stronger overall, and you know, all those things are, you know, as a manager, that you're looking for all those qualities in a team, and they'll be all needed to beat Waterford in the Munster final.
Today's managers Declan Ryan of Tipperary and Michael Ryan of Waterford. Let's talk, Sherlock, now about Michael Ryan first of all. He had an interesting job coming into this particular role after, I suppose, the intensity, if you like, of Davy Fitz. Michael started off as the Waterford ladies football manager and then progressed to this, and he could have been gone the day that they went down to play Galway down in Saltail if that didn't work out too well.
Well, like, he's the most unusual man, you know. He has, someone told me during the week that he had 32 All-Ireland titles won with lady footballers between county teams and club teams and different counties as well. Then he went to Mullinahone and they won the South Team Championship. Then he went to De La Salle, and De La Salle not alone won the Munster club, but were very, very unlucky that they weren't in the All-Ireland club final, just pipped by the Cannon Bridge in the last minute. So he's not a man to underestimate. You know, he came in under desperate pressure. You know, after a while there were people, after 2 or 3 games in the league, people were saying that, oh, he'll be sacked before the league is over. Next thing, he goes up to Galway, they win that game. They win their last match, and now they're safe in Division 1. So, and you know, Tomas is just saying there to me, like, he has grown in confidence as time is going on. You know, he's speaking slower, much more slowly. The Waterford players are speaking very, very highly of him. And, you know, it could be a case of Napoleon's lucky general. You know, he could be that type of guy. I wouldn't underestimate him, you know, and I think the team will come in here today in really, really well prepared. And just a small aside, I met a Waterford man come in today, he said to me, in 2002, he said, we came down here, no one gave us a chance. It rained before the game, he said, and then it cleared just before it started. And he said, we beat Tipperary out the gate. So, what's the chance 10 years later?
Well, the weather is certainly playing its part in that so far.
Michael, I think another thing important about the Michael Ryan thing, he's 2 selectors left, maybe a bit of trouble. There was very astute things done behind the scenes. Kim McGrath, who's now coaching Waterford IT, came on board, and Sean Cunlan. Now, they will be highly respected by Waterford public and Waterford players. They are former players and great players. So they kind of steadied the ship. And as Gerard said, Michael Ryan now has developed into a manager, whereas the lads are more or less hands-on. And they're really kind of going from strength to strength to strength. And like, today is their strongest team for the last few years they've ever run on board, and like even the likes of Owen Kelly not starting, he's not complaining. He probably could come on and play very well. So they're in a strong position today, stronger than people think.
Okay, from hearing from the managers to hearing a couple of views from inside the white lines. Later, the Tipperary point of view, but first the thoughts of Waterford's John Mullane. Down through the years there have been the odd controversial moment, I suppose, but mostly there have been the wholehearted displays and the vital scores. But today the 4-time All-Star is hoping for another good day for the Dacia.
Waterford have to come up with something special, and this is the man, John Mullane.
I mean, early 30s now, you know, it does crop into your head, you know, I suppose I have 2 young kids at home, and you know, you do look at the commitment and you know what's asked of you, but I'm really enjoying it this year more so than anything else. I suppose you know, your mind is constantly on it, and you know, I'm constantly thinking how I'm going to get myself best prepared for the up and coming championship. In the Justin year, I suppose, you know, we kind of went in with the Barcelona style. You know, whatever they'll score, you know, we'll outdo them on the scoreboard. It didn't get us over the line. Davey came in and, you know, he had a different style about him, and, you know, I suppose he felt that, you know, the game was changing, and, you know, to beat the likes of Tipperary and Kilkenny's, that you kind of had to be a bit more on the defensive side, you know. For all that we gave to hurling and gave to Munster hurling over the last 10 years, I suppose, you know, we seen it as a bit disrespectful, really, you know, to be written off. I suppose Clare, you know, they are an up-and-coming team, but I suppose, you know, we had a point to prove, and thankfully we got the result, you know. I won't dwell on it, but you know, it was probably a bit over the top, but you know, I had my reasons for it, and but you know, I think, you know, enough has been said about that. You know, all I want to concentrate now is concentrate on the flitter now, and trying to win more games for Waterford, you know.
Oh, he really has put everything he's got into it, John Mullane.
We felt ashamed, you know, we did hang our heads in shame, and they are a great team, you know, and they were All-Ireland champions at the time, but I suppose we focused in too much on Tipperary instead of focusing in on our own strengths and positives, you know. The most important thing for us this year is to try and get a performance. You know, whether we can get a performance that's good enough to beat Tipperary, we'll see. I suppose what they do have in abundance is they have a really strong panel. I mean, you only have to look at their bench the last day. You know, Owen Kelly, Lara Corbett, Seamus Cannon, John O'Neill, Shane Burks, you know, it's just even to name a few. The way we're looking at it now, you know, we're not going down to make up the numbers. And, you know, we do realise the task that lies ahead. It's going to be a formidable task, but if we can get a big performance out of ourselves, you know, who knows, you know, anything is quite possible in sport, you know.
Waterford and De La Salle's John Mullane.
Brick Walsh and are the stalwarts of this Waterford team. And even at the start of the year, you feared maybe that John Mullane wasn't going to give his services to Waterford anymore. There was a bit of dissentiment in the camp, you know, the appointment of Michael Ryan, maybe he didn't agree with. Not getting the captaincy of the team was a big issue for him as well, you know. But that seems to be water under the bridge at this stage for John Mullane, and he's driven on further, right? I mean, what I like about John Mullane is, look, he loves that Waterford jersey that he puts on his back. There's never a day when he doesn't give up the ghost, and he's always fighting for the cause of Waterford Hurling. And if they're to win today or make an impact in that game, Mullane will have to play well, particularly up front. And there is a chance, because this Tipperary full back line have been maybe a bit suspect this year, and if they get enough supply, as we said about Lara Corbett on the other side and long ball going in, if they get enough supply in and John Mullane is on his game, when he is on his game, the rest of the team will row in behind him, and you then sense the Waterford crowd coming behind him. Because Waterford Hurling, over the last number of years, I mean, I think this is their fourth Munster final in a row. They've so many appearances in Munster final day. I mean, they have given us unbelievable entertainment. And if you're in that dressing room now with Waterford, you'd be saying to them, lads, look at Galway last weekend. Take the shackles off, let's go out here and let's have a go. And if they do that, we're in for a powerful game.
And it's the way they use him as well, Tomas this year.
Yes.
You know, he's corner forward, that bring him out wing forward for 10 minutes. He'll work like hell for the 10 minutes, and then when he's getting a bit tired, back into the corner again. Yeah. Now that was very evident against Clare, and he made a massive difference while he came out at wing forward. And then when he ran out of steam, back it again. And they're using him very, very well. It was something they haven't always done in the past, you know.
Okay, time for us to take a break here on the programme. When we come back, we'll be hearing...
It away. Porrick Marr, superb play. Very, very good player.
We were lucky enough the way we came in. Liam Sheedy was getting a good squad together, you know, and we were lucky enough as a couple of young lads, Noel McGrath, Brendan Maher, that age group, you know, and you know, we took the opportunity with both hands, you know, and we happened to get a bit of success. You know, unfortunately last year we were beaten that Ireland final, but you know, we had success the year before, and if you told me when I started out the way things are panning out, you know, I would have beaten their arm off, you know, and you know, I said it's up to, look, the younger lads had a bit of success and the senior lads have, you know, great experience, and we've managed to build that together, you know, the last number of years, and we're just looking to win as many Munster finals and learn finals as we can before we finish up, because time will fly and the older lads will tell you that. We're just going to take every opportunity with, and you know, Sunday's another one for us. As Tipperary players playing the Munster final, you know, obviously we're delighted to win it, but it was a shock the way we won it, but it's never going to happen again, and it's definitely, you know, Waterford are going to be up for this time around, you know, especially after what happened last year, but there's a great prize at stake, you know, to get straight to an Ireland semi-final, you know, so you know, both teams are going to be going hell for leather for the Munster final. Yeah, you know, we're up and down the league with some good performances, some poor performances. You know, our leagues haven't been great over the last number of years. You know, this year we didn't perform as well as we should have against Limerick, but we did show great heart and determination to bring it back. We were 6 or 7 points down with 10 or 12 minutes to go, and we still managed to get it back and win the match by 3 or 4. The Cork game then was, you know, for Tip to win in Cork is so his second time in some number of years. So alone, even that alone is a great achievement, and then to be down to 14 men with 15 minutes to go, that, you know, we were delighted to come out here with a 1-point victory, and you know, it's after giving us a lot of confidence. They're fantastic occasions. They stand out in the Irish sporting year, really, these Munster finals, and we're truly looking forward to it now. You know, we've worked hard since the Cork game of training and stuff like that, so I happen to see Tip win 1 or 2 as well, so you know, you just dream of them days, you know, and I'm lucky enough this is going to be my 3rd Munster final, you know, so you know, I want to make the best of it as much as I can.
Yeah, that is Tipperary's all.
Cork, of course, 2 sides already in tomorrow morning's quarter-final draw. Will Waterford's intensity and desire match Tip's craft and winning experience? It is Waterford who won the toss, and they've opted to play from right to left in the first half. The match referee is Cathal McAllister from Cork. We're underway immediately, and it's Patrick Bonner-Maher who has the ball swept away from him, and Tony Brown gets his first possession, trying to link up here with Pádraig Maher. It's Pádraig Mahoney, rather. Pádraig Mahoney trying to advance. Very tight and confining in the middle of the park. All systems go right from the very off here. Brendan Maher. Eventually Conor O'Mahony driving it down. Beautifully taken in his stride here by Pa Burke. Then closed down immediately. Across here comes Noel Connors. Hasn't played an awful lot of hurling lately. He's been out with injury. Away by Stephen Malumphy. Into the forwards. In towards Milan it goes. Back there to try and take possession. And taking it is Pádraig Maher. Back out to the other wing back who's Tom Stapleton. Way down to the 45-metre line. That's the Waterford line. Big leap in the air there, which didn't produce an awful lot, but it's Noel Connors who emerges with it. Back out towards Malumphy once again. Trying to break loose. Eventually gets out as far as Pádraig Mahoney. His brother there, Philip, number 9. And a pile-up which Cathal McAllister allows to develop. And eventually Kevin Moran takes it up, but on his hands and knees. Dispossessed there by Brendan Maher, at least momentarily. Got enough purchase on it to get it down towards Bonner-Maher. Kicked away by Michael Welch. Running into it there was Brendan Maher again. Emerging with it eventually as Stephen Malumphy. Kicking it into the forwards. Big one in there towards Gavin O'Brien, the 19-year-old. It breaks for Shane Welch. Tries the first shot. The umpires look at it and they go to wave the white flag. The opening point. Just a minute and a half gone. Shane Welch getting his first score. Waterford lead.
Well, Ger, what a whirlwind start. Fierce, exciting changes, as you say, all over, as we expected. Maybe some changes in the tip forward. I don't know where they are. They're drifting all over the place. But a great start there by Waterford. And Noel Connors very involved. A player that was missing last year. Huge loss to him, and he's back as well today.
Tip have it back. And they try their first shot from way out the field there by Noel McGrath, the player you were talking about.
Now, well out into the left half forward, but he's playing in the left corner. And as I say, moving all over the place. And Seamus Prendergast now on the ball.
Sending it in there towards Milan, who got it well. Goes for a second point for Waterford, and they get it. 2 chances, 2 scores, 2 inside forwards getting on the ball early on that time. This is a wonderful approach here by Waterford, and Milan shows his sharpness once again.
Yeah, Ger, and Michael Cahill has been outstanding for Tipperary over the last few years, but this year his form hasn't been up to scratch, and John Milan is in top of his game again. A great ball in by Prendergast, and you'll expect a lot of ball going into that corner from a Waterford point of view.
This puck out is targeted towards Lark Orbit. Breaks down instead to Bonner-Maher. Slips it inside here towards Noel McGrath. Back into Lark Orbit. 4-4 last year, Lark Orbit. Back in towards Carl Burke. Well robbed. Out comes Stephen Daniels. Very exciting start to the match. Brendan Maher takes it with his left hand. 45 minutes out from the Waterford goal. Lets it go, and he puts it wide. A second wide for Tipperary. Well, they're looking for a score just to settle them down here.
Yeah, Jaron, this is what Larry Corbett does so well. Straight through the gap. He goes out the field and drifts, and I feel he took the wrong option here. He passed, you know, when he was covered. All he had to do, I think, was go on himself. It's not like Larry, normally lethal in those positions, but he had a goal on himself and he kept going.
Great covering back by Malumphy that time. He covers a lot of ground. Conor O'Mahony covering a lot of ground from centre half back with Tipperary, but it's Pádraig Mahoney mishits it. Tom Stapleton takes it instead. Oh, he's trying to link up there with Brian O'Mara. Didn't reach him, but it comes up here towards Gavin O'Brien. Back towards the aforementioned Malumphy. Takes off, tries to go by Brendan Maher off his left-hand side. 2 men in the inside forward line waiting for it. One of them is Milan. Breaks it down. Stapleton comes across. First touch wasn't good, but he got a nudge and it hots up. Obvious tension spilling over in the opening minutes here. And Cathal McAllister goes into play peacemaker immediately. It's going to be a free out.
A couple of hefty knocks went in there. I think there was a great chance there earlier for, you know, a ball went backwards in the pass from Waterford. But you see here, that's definitely a free here, and when John Milan got up, Conor O'Brien gave him a little nudge on the ground, and John retaliated. But you're going to have that early in the game.
A lot of tension. from the free. All the way down it goes towards Brian O'Mara. Well won back again. Oh, Walsh's pass was terrible. Straight to Paul Burke, well blocked down. Tony Brown trying to get it away. 39 years of age now, Tony. Lark Corbett picks it up here. Back it goes towards Pádraig Maher, one of the stars of last year's Munster final victory, and that could well be the third wide.
Worker, he covers an awful lot of ground.
Stephen O'Keefe's puck out. It's gathered beautifully by Pádraig Mahoney. Took it in his stride, up into the corner towards the youngster. Towards Gavin O'Brien. Eventually it's Shane Walsh. Hit away by Conor O'Brien. Cornerback for Tipperary. Waiting for it here is Philip Mahoney. Back into his brother Pádraig. And Pádraig lets it off and puts it over the bar. What a very good start by the Dacia. Well, they were looking for the kind of start that Galway got last week against Kilkenny.
Yeah, well, I mentioned Pádraig Mahoney before the game. He's switched wings as I expected, you know, away from Pádraig Maher's physical presence, and he's been on the ball a number of times and a great score there from the middle of the field.
Brendan Cummins ready to take the puck out here. 37 years of age now, all the way down into his inside forward line, in there towards Buggy O'Mara. And Brian Buggy O'Mara has it, turning, looking to get the first score for Tipperary. They need one just to settle them down. He's got it. Good start by him. Oh, at the receiving end then as he was running away.
Yeah, Jaron, he's, you know, I've been very impressed by Brian O'Mara this year. You know, the last day against Cork as well, when they needed scores early, he got them, and he's got another great point there to settle down Tipperary.
From the puck out, that's well taken down here by Seamus Prendergast. Such a very good...
Watch it, he done this so often, and last year he was very much on the periphery, I felt, under Davy Fitzgerald, but this year back central to what he should be, at centre forward or on the wing, winning high ball.
Here's the first question you were asking as to who would take the frees. Morris getting the first one anyway. Morris Shanahan got
that's the
seven.
That's the way it should be, Jerry. You know, he's been in position, he's took the frees well the last day, and he deserves to hold on to that duty today. He'll probably miss it now after that.
5 of his 7 points anyway in the semi-final came from place balls. Here's his first, and he's very much in form. Another for Waterford, and they lead by 4 points to 1.
And your credit to Waterford, that's what I said, you know, in the scene said, you expect that from them to come out all guns blazing. They didn't disappoint. Last year's forgotten now, and they're up and running and playing very well.
From that puck out, it sails in over Brian O'Mara's head, waiting for it back there. Liam Lawler goes short. Little block on it there as Tony Brown was making the clearance, and it's going to be a line ball. And the linesman on the far side, John Sexton.
I'd imagine the tip player had to block it there. Yeah, should be a Waterford line ball.
Should have been the other way, you're right.
And these calls can be significant, you know. This could end up.
Well, let's just see what happens. Here's Brendan Maher to hit it, and he's hit it well. 20 metres out. Back out from Liam Lawler, back out as far as Tony Brown. Lawler again swinging around before making the clearance. Taurus Pádraig Mahoney being marked there by the very strong Tom Stapleton. Did well. Stapleton tries the shot, and he's put it wide. Of the highest order so far.
Yeah, great catch there, but you know, I think he took the wrong option. Brendan Maher was loose beside him. He threw his little hand pass over, and he could have put it over the bar himself.
This is taken away here by Philip Mahoney. Shane Walsh trying to get to it. Instead, it is his marker, Conor O'Brien, who gets it away. 2 Waterford players go for the one ball. It's Tony Brown who eventually comes away with it. Third, fourth time, finally gets it. Harris the whole time by Paul Burke. Towards Gavin O'Brien. Knocks it on there towards Morris Shanahan. Back once again towards Seamus Prendergast. He's in the clear. He's got a scoring chance. And this one has gone astray. First one they've missed. As you can see, 9.5 minutes virtually gone.
Yeah, and setting up and traditionally, and all their forwards winning their own ball. And you'd have to say Tony Brown absolutely flying from the start. He's bet Tab Burke to 2 or 3 50-50 balls already.
This time there's pressure on, and this time it's Patrick Bonner-Maher, the supplier, John O'Brien, the finisher, the opening goal of the game. John O'Brien. In the 10th minute, a player who was yellow carded twice here in his last minute to Páirc Uí Chaoimh against Cork, but he comes up with the goods here. Played in by Patrick Bonner-Maher, such a good creative centre forward himself, and that's a tremendous finish from a very tight angle.
Yeah, great movement away by John O'Brien, and Bonner-Maher, perfect timing in the pass, and that's what he does, and you know Waterford will have to stop him running.
And the teams are level. Shane Welch hitting his shot from just outside the 20-metre line, and that's 2 shots by Shane Welch, and he's got both. Very good point.
Yeah, he's a super skillful hurler. Lovely ball into him, great first touch, and Paul Kearney, you can see he's just a yard off from there, and a hurler like Shane Walsh will punish that, and Waterford full forward line doing very well so far.
Great pace to this match, great intensity as well. Paul Burke did well to keep it in play somehow. In towards O'Mara. Going away from his man here is Padraig Mahoney. Angling it across towards Noel McGrath, might break down for O'Brien, inside towards Lark Corbett, couldn't handle it, it's Stephen Daniels instead, and the Waterford cornerback clears it away, only to Tom Stapleton, takes it down, then runs into Seamus Prendergast, back out here is Patrick Bonner-Maher, and beyond Lark Corbett this time, Lara drifted into full forward, big mark because John Sexton, originally from Limerick, change of shirt. And Lar is back in business again, and there's also some footwear that needs changing. Action continues. Sean Milan has got a point so far, dances away from the tackles. They couldn't get near him. He's in form.
Well, that's an absolutely brilliant score, Jared. Great first touch, and the pace of the man. You know, over the last 10 years we've seen this so often, but he's racking up 4 or 5 points in play in every championship match throughout his career. And interesting, I think Kevin Moran, who's been outstanding for Waterford the last few years, is doing a man-marking job on Lara Corbett.
Well, that was always likely to happen. Lars such a danger man, but early indications here from Waterford's point of view that if the ball goes into Milan and Shane Welch, they could certainly wreak some damage. Here's another man who's always a potential match winner, and Paulie Marr puts it over the bar from a huge distance out. You'll remember those terrific long clearances, virtually unchallenged last year, that caused so much confusion in the Waterford backline that day, and the teams are level for the 3rd time here.
Yeah, that's a great score, and Maher does that in every game.
Mention of people doing it in every game. What about Noel McGrath? Bang on cue from the middle of the park. There was nobody challenging him, mind you. He was given that kind of freedom, and he makes it 1-4 for Tipperary, 6 points for Waterford. So all of a sudden, Tip shoot in front.
Yeah, Jeremy, while you admired the way Waterford are playing, brilliant open game, this is going to suit Tip though. Tip love this open hurling, and they've created a couple of goal chances already that they didn't take, and you know, if they keep getting this space, they'll create more.
Malumphey, it's virtually like a shootout so far. Great bit of play there by Gavin O'Brien. Back it comes once again here as far as Padraig Mahoney. Oh, poor ball, straight to Paulie Marr. All the way down as far as John O'Brien, the goal scorer, after 10 minutes. Makes a better angle for himself, spun around beautifully, and he's another player in form. It's like a shootout at the OK Corral. 2 forwards very much in form.
Yeah, but Tipperary are playing very cleverly. They've only 2 men inside. Liam Lawler's lacking pace. They're exposing that, and really Waterford, you know, if they want to be a little bit more negative, drop a man back in front of that full back line.
Somehow I don't think that's part of the philosophy at the moment. I think Michael Ryan, remember Michael Ryan watching Maurice Shanahan just outside the 65-metre line, and this one has drifted away to the right-hand side, and it's a missed opportunity. Well, who was terrific last season, got 27 points in last year's championship, back from injury. That's tipped down there by Michael Brick Welch. Philip Mahoney back towards Tony Brown. Tony has moved into a more central defensive position there. Maybe he will do a little bit of sweeping. It's Cahill, plays it out off the legs there. Always a good atmosphere at Porky Queeve, and an opportunity for the fans. They're so near to the action. Very atmospheric ground as he plays it in here. In towards Brian Buggy O'Mara. Tries to get away, succeeds. Well blocked down. It was Kevin Moran who got the block on it, and eventually it's stolen away by Malumphey. And the Army officer drives it in towards Milan. Getting the stick to it first, however, was Mickey Cahill. Back out through Conor O'Mahony. Out as far as Tom Stapleton. Across to the wings here to Brendan Marr. Huge one in, Lars waiting. Didn't get to it, but it breaks down for John O'Brien. First touch not great. Did he pick it off the ground? I thought he did.
He picked it straight off the ground, yeah, in my opinion.
But I don't think it's a free out. I think it's going to be a puck out.
Yeah, he wasn't pulled for it, but I think he picked it straight off the ground. Yeah, I can see it there, clearly did, and if it had gone into the net, I don't think the ref was going to give it.
Well, it would have been highly controversial had that ended up in the back of Stephen O'Keefe's net. 1-5 to 6 points. Beyond Prendergast this time. Racing for it is Shane Welsh. Taking it up here is Tom Stapleton. There's a strong bit of stuff.
Forward, a real attacking type of wing back, and Pádraig Mahoney will have to try to be closer to him and stop him winning so much possession.
Conor O'Mahony taking this, hasn't scored in this year's championship so far, and he's not going to improve on that stat with that particular Withens Day. God help us for the next 40 days. Patrick Bonner-Maher trying to advance, stopped there by Tony Brown. Huge one in, Cahill bats it out, Shanahan slips, Paddy Maher tries to get to it, helped out there by Shane McGrath. McGrath trying to advance, jersey pulled, I thought. Yeah. Team ahead by 2. He's having a brilliant season. He's been so good at the freeze. But this is a very, very long distance one. Oh, he makes light of the distance. His first point of the match.
Yeah, that's a great strike, Joe. You know, all free takers like a handier one to start, but that was obviously from the Waterford 65 monster free. And as you say, brilliant against Cork the last. They scored 3 points in play, involved in everything, a number of assists, and took all his frees as well. And really, you'd be delighted for him. He's around the panel for a number of years now, waited patiently for his chance, and he's taken it this year.
Pádraig Mahoney does well. Conor O'Mahony had missed it. Chance here for the corner forward, Gavin O'Brien, has switched across, back towards Stephen Malumphey. Switching the direction of the play. Well, that's where Gavin O'Brien should have been. He's moved out of position, and so it's easier now for the tip captain Paul Curran to begin a counter-attack. Paddy Maher, huge one down. Reaching up for it was Brian O'Mara. O'Mara goes after it with Daniels there. De La Salle player comes back to Bonner-Maher, switched across. John O'Brien's lurking with intent. He's a chance. Well saved. Stephen O'Keefe does really well. He got some great saves in against Clare, and he was brilliant against Tipperary in the minor final of 2009 as well. But there's more pressure on because it's Paddy Maher again, lining this one in towards John O'Brien, held off this time well. And Liam Lawler hand passes it into the centre to Michael Brick Welch. Out as far as Tony Brown. And it dances way out of trouble, but gave the ball away. Shane McGrath back out here as far as Pa Burke, slipping and sliding. The tricky conditions, almost overholds. Referee Cahill McAllister allows him a little bit of leeway there. In the end, it's taken up by Philip Mahoney to his brother Pádraig. And between them, they managed to get it up towards John Mullard. Suddenly he's in the clear. 3 men after him, however. And that's a brilliant finish by John Mullard. 3 shots at the target, 3 points for John Mullard. He's certainly in form.
Yeah, Jared, that was some passage of play there. John Mullard, again, he lets the ball break in behind him. Clever play, and onto it with his pace, and a brilliant score falling away. One thing from Waterford's point of view, they can't keep hitting the ball down on top of Pádraig Maher. He's absolutely dominating. From that angle, maybe just flicked it over the bar. I think Tipper really, they're intent on going for goals. They could have maybe 4 or 5 more points on the board at this stage.
Tell me this much, would you have stuck somebody on Paddy Maher, knowing his influence in the game, and said, look, stay on him, don't get...
Do a job like that, but he can't be everywhere. He's in the centre on Conor O'Mahony.
Right now the ball is in the middle of the Waterford defence, and once again it's picked up here by Tipperary, and a chance for them to put it over, and jumping for joy is Shane McGrath. First point for Shane McGrath from Ballynahinch in North Tipperary, and now there's a goal between the teams, 1-7 to 7 points. Suddenly they're finding a nice bit of form, and they're finding their targets with their shots. From Waterford's puck out, Waterford tried to win possession here. Stephen Daniels goes back, can't get to it. Bonner-Maher inevitably the man who created the goal. Out here as far as Noel McGrath. And McGrath tries the shot. Lark Orbett's coming! That could have ended up in the back of the Dacia net. 4-4 last year, and in 4 of his 5 previous finals he got 1-1.
Yeah, he hasn't scored yet, but he still looks very dangerous. Kevin Moran is obviously staying very, very close to him, and he's a super hurler, and but he still takes so much. He's drifting all over the place at the moment.
From this puck out, it's towards Seamus Prendergast. He can't get his hands on it. It's a slippery ball at this stage, but slippery for both teams. Philip Mahoney Folds in there towards Maurice Shanahan, ready to take off past Conor O'Mahony. Shanahan now, where's the completion with this? Carries and carries and carries. Eventually he's got a 65 out of it. I thought he might well have been pulled for taking it too far.
What a run here. Just watch a little piece of skill here. He flicks it back again here, makes room for himself, and Brendan Cummins had to stand tall, make a good save. It's gone out for a 65.
Did well in the end, produced something, and as you say, Brendan Cummins doing his job and doing it well.
He won't be able to take the 65 by the time he gets back out here.
Well, there are
he's wrecked more
62 appearances for Tony Brown today.
Yeah, but I suppose over the amount of years, and for an outfield player, it's an incredible career as well. You know, two absolute legends of the game.
Maurice Shanahan ready to hit this anyway, as the sun tries to force its way out through the clouds, and he has found the range perfectly and puts it over for his second pointed free. This one from a 65. So he has closed the gap to 2 points. 10 minutes to go to half time. Brendan Cummins once again to put the ball back into play, straight down through the centre. Everybody knows what to expect, and Kevin Moran is the one who emerges with it, trying to hand pass it to Tony Brown, still trying to get the ball away, and in the end it's Lark Orbit who takes it, gives it to Shane McGrath, who's got a point already, but not with this effort, wide of the target.
They're struggling to get ball in there in the last 10 minutes or so.
Well, tonight, don't forget the Sunday game, 9:30. We've got highlights of this. We've also got highlights of the college football final. Ken McGrath, who has joined the selection team, of course, with Michael Ryan. Big influence. Watching now as this ball is going to be cut in by Kevin Moran, the De La Salle player. Into space here, bit of work for Paul Curran. And that time the referee has got to...
Goals, no danger, hold him up and put him under pressure, and I don't think he did a lot wrong in fairness there. You know, Curran just went down and slid along the ground.
Freeze taken to 45 metres out from the Waterford goal. Noel Connors comes across again, slickly forward here to Porrick Mahoney, into the corner towards Mulan. Michael Cahill goes back, takes it, clears it away. It is very similar indeed to the ball that happened over at the other corner there a moment ago, Michael, which resulted in a free. Anyway, Patrick Van der Mar here. Outside him there, he had a support player, didn't quite reach him. It was John O'Brien and Pa Burke waiting, didn't come to them. But it does come in the end to Kevin Moran, and he clears it well. Way down towards Gavin O'Brien, hooped. Good play there by Conor O'Brien, but it breaks back out towards Milan once again. Trying to steal a march there on the corner back. Very ambitious shot across here, taken beautifully in his stride by Brendan Cummins. And it becomes the first line of counter-attack, but it doesn't get too far. Seamus Prendergast off his left this time, and that's rather a hurried shot. And
See, can he curb his influence a little bit and get on, you know, keep him a bit busier than he has been, because he's been sweeping up and off the ball.
Coming out for that one, but not getting it was Liam Lawler. Back there helping out is the cornerback. Once again, cleared out by Noel Connors. Down in a heap goes Seamus Prendergast. And the referee had a quick word with Conor Tipperary group of selectors. Watching now as Maurice Shanahan tries to fire another one over the bar. The umpires are having a very good look at it and decide, yes, it's his third. So another one, and it closes the gap to 1. Waterford came here determined to try and win this match, but tried to make sure they were not destroyed as happened last year.
Tipperary, two super frees by Maurice Shanahan, 65 and a long range free now to bring them right back into it again.
Tipperary, one of those teams you never know what to expect. Tom Stapleton, Noel McGrath, such a lovely forward player. Across here as far as Pa Burke. And Pa Burke, the referee has decided, was fouled by Tony Brown, and Tony has a very bemused look on his face there, shake of the head, and he's very puzzled, as indeed are we.
Well, we'll see it again. I thought it was great defending. He's after taking him there. I actually thought he stood him up really, really well, and the Pa Burke overplayed the ball, but maybe he pulled him. We'll have a look at the replay here now. He's the hands out, he's standing off him.
Now the referee was behind this action. We're seeing it from another camera angle.
To me, they look very, very little there, and you know, if you're coaching young lads, just stand them up, keep them outside you, and that's what Tony Brown did, and the ref gave the free in.
Pa Burke has this opportunity to put a couple of points between the teams again. Doesn't miss too many. 2 frees taken, 2 points scored, and it is 1-8 to 9 points, 11 points to 9. Just about 3 minutes or thereabouts to go to half time. From the puck out, Maurice Shanahan can't take it, but goes after it. Helped out here by Philip Mahoney and Seamus Prendergast. Competing for it there was McGrath of Tipperary, did well to put the stick in. Bodymar likewise. Back in by Malumphey once again. Returned with interest, however, by Shane McGrath. Stopped in its tracks by Kevin Moran. All the way up as far as Bodymani. The UCC Student Fitzgibbon Cup winner this year. In as far as Shane Welch. Lovely footwork. Oh, he was stripped. Free in.
Got a ball in by Pádraig Mahoney, and I think that balances up maybe the last free, but he went over, but he wasn't fouled.
So Maurice Shanahan has this opportunity now from about 30 metres out. But just one between them again. And it's another one. So 4 points. Owen Kelly provide them with that extra ingredient. He's waiting at the end of this. It's broken down here, but it's taken away well. Liam Lawler hand passes it out. Stephen Malumphey. Big one down here. Gavin O'Brien can't take it. Tom Stapleton can't for Tipperary. Back down once again. This time it breaks down here kindly. And there's an opportunity for Owen Kelly. It's blocked down immediately. Swept away over towards Malumphey. Out through Kevin Moran. A surging run forward, about to be hooked, but he avoids the hook of Shane McGrath, drives it in towards Milan, who's gone into full forward, trying to dance around from the challenges. Left it behind, however. Cahill got there. Conor O'Mahony was there as well, and Conor O'Mahony takes it back, plays it out. We're in the 35th minute. Point between the teams. Lark Corbett chasing for this one. Malumphey puts in his stick, gets it, stands his ground. 65 metres out, has a go. It's got to drop short. Oh, Brendan Cummins was in difficulty. Shane Walsh almost got a prod to that and almost knocked it past him. Cummins lucky, got away with it. Out as far as Bodymar. Ready for the big one to come down. In there, waiting for it, Noel McGrath. Tries to dish it off here, holds on, and the referee eventually says, held on too long, free out. What about the introduction, Michael? I must ask you of number 21 there, Owen Kelly, just before half-time.
Well, Ger, look at Tipperary management make the decisions on the sideline. They're a point up in the Munster final. Pa Burke has been very good for all year. And you know, he hasn't been in the game much, but I think it's a very harsh call. You know, a lot of the Tipperary team, it's a tight game. It's in the melting pot, and to take off a player who's been so good all year.
This is what happened at the other end.
Yeah, a chance there for Shane Walsh. But I think it's a very, very harsh call on a young player, and it's going to shatter his confidence again.
Well, we're playing that 1 minute of additional time now. Bodymar back there taking it, sweeps everything, gets back up on his feet again. Towards Kevin Moran once again, putting the head down, setting it out towards Maurice Shanahan. Just a few seconds left. Shanahan firing, hitting, striking it over the bar, and the teams are level for the 4th time. Maurice Shanahan has just got his 5th point. We're almost at half-time, and the Waterford fans are much the happier. In Páirc Uí Chaoimh here, where you're watching the 2012 Munster Hurling final live.
Yeah, Joe, what a great first half. It's had everything, you know, passion and power, great scores, both teams giving it everything, and you have to give great credit, especially to Waterford, for the way they've come out after last year's drubbing here. A brilliant performance, and I think the taking off of Pa Burke will be a big talking point. You know, the game.
Well, first of all, it's a little bit closer than it was last year at half-time.
It sure is a bit different, but I think Waterford set out their stall right from the start here. You know, that they were going to get stuck into the game from the very start. 2 midfielders were going to fall back. They were going to close up that defence, and they weren't going to concede scores, as the two lads here had said before the game started. Now, they went 3 points ahead. Gradually, Tipperary came into the game. They took over around the half-back line. Waterford's big problem was where would they puck out the ball, because they wanted to avoid Pádraig Mahoney. And what did they do? Go to Tom Stapleton. But Pádraig Maher. They went to Tom Stapleton. That's from the frying pan into the fire because Stapleton was excellent. But their work rate all over the field is absolutely fantastic. They're winning nearly all the breaking ball. Tip are trying to be just too clever. They want to have the perfect pass, score the perfect goal. You know, there are numerous chances to put the ball over the bar, and they're overdoing the thing of going for goals. So right at the moment, at the last 10 minutes, Waterford, the initiative has switched to Waterford again. And, you know, they're the scoring goals they're going to play into the second half, so it's really all to play for now in the second half.
It is all to play for. It's shaping up for one hell of a finish, sir.
Yeah, like you'd have to admire Waterford. They've gone it from the very start, and like Moran is playing very well wing back, Brick is holding centre back, Malumphey and Mahoney midfield are working like beavers, and like they are scoring from outside. Like they've got great scores. Milan, his first touch and read, they've got great points in play. Maurice Shannon is on song. After saying all that, as Gerard said there, Tip are trying to walk the ball into net with perfect passes. Not a day for that. Like, there was chances for points. They got one goal and then they seem to think to get a few more now. Pádraig Maher has thundered into the game. Conor Mahoney's coming in and Shane McGrath. But like Tipper bothered because they were on top for the second, most of the second first half, but towards the end, Waterford came right back into the game, and as it was going on towards the end, it was the flow was with Waterford, and the crowd are beginning to sense, the Waterford crowd are beginning to sense this could be their day, and they were going to have one hell of a second half.
Mind you, one of those Tip goal chances did end up in the net, and I'm sure at this stage Waterford supporters remembering last year starting to kind of fear the worst. This is John O'Brien's goal.
Yeah, it's a very good score and well worked. I think Bonamara.
Munster Hurling final. It's 1 goal, 8 points. Waterford 11 points. Back to Gerald Michael.
And they're underway straight away. And it is Michael Brick Walsh who's trying to get the first attack going. Helped out here by Shane Welch, who got 2 points in the first half. That's Kevin Moran. And Kevin Moran has put it to the right this time. Had played, as the panel were saying, an excellent game in the first half, keeping tabs on Lar Corbett in this 9th ever Munster final meeting between Tip and Waterford.
Started the second half and Kevin Moore didn't follow him, which I think maybe is a mistake. You know, he did such a good job in the first half marking him.
Well, it may not have been twigged just yet, but it will in a moment. That's Kevin Moran still making progress up there, but the ball has gone.
Absolutely, and JJ Delaney and Michael Fennelly back yesterday in club championship matches in Kilkenny, so you know Kilkenny are going to be back at full strength the next day.
This is taken back here by Michael Brick Welch. Back out towards Kevin Moran once again. Huge one down towards Shane Welch. Breaks it back here. Tom Stapleton had some very good moments in the first half. Paddy Maher, always a big influence. Tony Brown reading this one, getting there ahead of Lar Corbett. Paddy Maher breaks it. Anticipating is John Milan. Made such a good start to the first half. That's a lovely inviting ball. Malumphey takes a shoulder and the referee says play on, and he puts it over the bar. Stephen Malumphey giving terrific leadership, but a great pass by John Milan into his path.
Yeah, that's a brilliant score. I think he might have been fouled initially. Good advantage then by the referee as it turned out, and great score by Stephen, who gets married next Thursday to Niamh from Lismore. I had a chat with him last Sunday night on the Sunday game and he's looking forward to that.
Best of luck to them both. He's put Waterford in front by a point. Now Pádraig Mahoney. Paddy Maher driving it back up again, but straight at Tony Brown. That's untypical. Casual and sloppy by Tipperary out of defence. Mickey Cahill goes back here. Two sides trying to get back into their rhythm quickly. Maher switching it across over there towards Brian O'Mara. Being marked now by Kevin Moran. Moran's on the deck. Maher tries his luck and puts it over, and the teams are level again. Level now for the 5th time. O'Mara's second point.
Yeah, that's a great score. This is what Brian O'Mara brings to the Tipperary forward, and he's so strong. He just knocks Kevin Moore to the ground, and still he's out on the sideline. A great score.
From the puck out by Stephen O'Keefe. His puck outs tend to go straight down through the middle. Anticipating here is Maurice Shanahan. Rounds his man, and a couple more over the head of his own man. However, this time coming out was Gavin O'Brien. Maurice Shanahan goes after it himself. Doesn't quite have the legs. Brendan Cummins, big tall man, able to take it down. Straight into the paw there of Lar Corbett. Back to Paddy Maher, dashing forward. 50 metres from the target. Seamus Prendergast after him, trying to get a chance to hook him. Maher still stumbling. Could have laid it off. Might have done so. Should have done so. Instead, he's given the opportunity for Waterford to get the ball away out to Tony Brown again. And back down into the danger zone, 20 metres out from the Tipperary goal. Broken by John Milan, having to come away out to 45 metres. He's as fit as I've ever seen him, John Milan, and as eager as ever, and he's got the decision. Boy, is he happy. Can't concede.
Caused a dispossession. Tony Brown cleared it up, and John Milan won the free. And you know, who knows how the game is going to end? But that is a huge psychological. This will be a huge psychological score for Waterford.
Gives them a chance to go back into the lead again. Maurice Shanahan with 5 points in the first half, 4 from 5 from frees. His 5th point was from play, you'll remember, just on the call of half-time. So 50 metres out, they wait. He gets ready. Very, very calm afternoon. Whatever light breeze there is supporting Waterford at this stage. And that's straight up and over. The usual result. A very, very good free taking by Maurice Shanahan. And the Waterford fans who've travelled in big, big numbers after the disappointment of last year. Very happy with themselves at this stage. Brian O'Mara comes, doesn't get it. John O'Brien doesn't get it, but Bon O'Mara had it taken away from him by Michael Brick Welch. And he's got it back again. Corey Mahoney. Little block on it. Prendergast goes after it. O'Mahony is struggling. Prendergast can't take it up the first time. Brendan Marr gets in. Then Prendergast gets a second opportunity. Trying to find a colleague. Holds on too long. Free to Tipperary. Oh, it's intense. It's bound to be heavy for the remainder of the game. We've had so much rain. It's eased just at the moment. But it's going to be energy sapping. Brendan Cummins taking this one. Dropping 20 metres out, missed by a couple of players, picked up here by Owen Kelly, well stopped by O'Keefe, and Kelly gets his first goal chance, and O'Keefe to the rescue. Brilliant work there. Back to Paddy Marr, and he's driven it away to the left, but the Tipperary fans, Michael.
Yeah, and Owen Kelly, look, breaks on, beautiful first touch. Again, you know, his instinct is to go for a goal there. Again, you know, maybe over the bar, you know, get a few scores, but Owen Kelly, one of the great forwards, he sees a goal chance, he goes for it, and a good save there by Stephen O'Keefe.
Kelly going for his 22nd ever championship goal. Stymied that time. Conor O'Mahony back out. This time Shane McGrath, the midfielder. Up once again towards O'Mara, broken down towards McGrath. And again, taking it out here, Liam Lawler, looking to try and get it away as far as possible. Malumphy. Kevin Moran struggling with his first touch, comes back up here. John O'Brien prodding it outside. Noel McGrath, and Noel McGrath, ever the artist. Second point of this match. One of the most stylish hurlers playing. There are artists and artisans, and he's certainly an artist.
Yeah, it's a lovely little assist there by John O'Brien, lovely flick on, and Waterford had a chance to clear their lines, but at this level they can't afford to fumble the ball.
Great old match. Paddy Marr back in here towards Lark Orban. Hasn't scored so far. Back inside his own 65-metre line. Good running here by John O'Brien. Taking it in his strike and sweeping it over the bar in one very, very convincing move. And John O'Brien has now got a goal and 3. Remember the Munster final a few years ago in Limerick when he got a goal and 4. Man of the match that day against Clare. He's playing well.
And that was a brilliant score, Jared. Lark Corbett took it. O'Brien made a great run across the field, and he was picked out a lovely diagonal ball and a brilliant finish. Made it look very, very easy, but it was a great score.
Tip lead by a point. Bon O'Mara struggling. Maurice Shanahan after it. He's got it. Shanahan trying to take off, and Stapleton came across, fouled him, free in. Talent, if he can produce it.
If he can get it right.
Getting it out of it.
You'd have to say, Jared, so far, the work rate of all the players on the field, the endeavour is so honest. It's a brilliant game, you know, to be here, that great atmosphere, and everybody absolutely giving it everything. Epitomised there, by the way, Maurice Shanahan won that ball back there and won a free. He had no right to get that ball back.
And now with this, he can put the teams level again. And he's put it wide. He's missed it.
Number 15, Kevin O'Brien.
So on comes Owen Kelly, penalty scorer, of course, in the match against Clare. There he is, renewing acquaintances with Conor O'Brien, and young Gavin O'Brien makes way. And another change has been made. It's going to be number 23, Paul O'Brien. I wonder if you remember Paul O'Brien scoring a winning goal here against Tipperary some years ago. And he's come on, and the player who's gone off is Paddy Mahoney. Well, Paddy Mahoney has come back from groin surgery, so he was always going to struggle a little bit, I think, in absence of training. Adjustments made by the managers. Lark Corbett with possession again. Back out here. Brilliantly taken in here by O'Mara. Struggling to get the ball away. Kevin Moran was keeping a very tight leash on him there. Lawler's clearance down here towards Shane Welch. Pursuing him as Paul Curran did well. Curran goes after him again. McGrath striking it in first time. Leaving it into the forwards. Seeing what Bottomar can do here. Up there against Michael Brick-Welch. And Michael Brick-Welch
should have done better.
Stephen O'Keefe's free for Waterford. All the way down towards Maurice Shanahan. Trying to get in on the blind side of Tom Stapleton. Paul O'Brien, the substitute, in the green helmet. Polymar trying to get it up. It's Shanahan instead who takes it. He's having a good match. Shanahan is causing problems. This time he's stopped, however, by Brendan Cummins. The danger averted. And Brendan Marr gets it up towards Larker. What a catch! Brilliantly done by Larr. Getting there ahead of Tony Brown. Sending it in. The last one he contributed was a point for John O'Brien. This time it's Owen Kelly. Stephen Daniels. Kelly's there. So too Liam Lawler and Tony Brown. And Brown completes the clearance. Back into open space. Larr has suddenly got a buzz in his... There's a certain buzz about his play. It comes back to Michael Cahill. And Mickey Cahill for 45 metres out, puts it over the bar, and that's his first time ever to score in Championship Hurling. It's his 14th Championship match, and he's put Tipperary 2 in front.
Yeah, great passage of play again. Lovely flick there by Brendan Marr through his legs. Michael O'Brien, Michael Cahill, fantastic hurler, no bother to him over the bar. And you saw Laird there with a great catch, and he's getting more and more influential as the game goes on.
Anybody's match. Seamus Prendergast wins it here. So the pressure back on Maurice Shanahan, the 22-year-old from Lismore. His brother Dan, of course, played his last championship match, 2010. Dan's career total 21 goals and 53 points. Morris looking for a point here, and Morris has got it. It's a 7th point for Maurice Shanahan, and so it's back once again to a 1-point game. Tip still edging it. 13 minutes into the second half. Brendan Marr slips on the ground. Comes up with it. Philip Mahoney powerless to stop him. Big, huge one down there towards Noel McGrath. Breaks away from a couple of players. That's Kevin Moran. Out to Philip Mahoney. Did well to catch it. He was fouled by Brendan Marr. Ready to launch this one into the Tipperary square.
Kevin Moran seems to be everywhere, Jerry. He's now back right corner back. Seems to be... He was on Noel McGrath there, he's on John O'Brien now. I don't know what the tactic with him is.
That's dropping in there towards Milan. Breaks out once again here. Onto it came Seamus Prendergast, and Prendergast drops it short. And Cummins gets it out. Conor O'Mahony goes chasing after it. Shanahan's chasing after him. Shortens the grip on the stick, gets it out here as far as Lark Corbett from inside his own 65-metre line. Nicely up there as far as Owen Kelly. 2 Owen Kellys in action. Kevin Moran, as you say, Michael, in the thick of everything. There he is again. He's missed his, lost the stick. Owen Kelly's got it back. Challenged there by Noel Connors. Manages to get it in there. Cross towards Noel McGrath. Taking it back down is Michael Brick-Welch. And passing it back to his goalkeeper, Stephen O'Keefe. And finally, it's away calmly by Liam Lawler. The final drive forward is by Philip Mahoney. 13 metres, a little bit more out from the Tipperary goal, comes back out towards Conor O'Mahony. Onto it quickly comes Seamus Prendergast, slipping it in here towards Owen Kelly. The Waterford version stolen away by Michael Cahill, and Mickey Cahill, who got a point a few moments ago, drives it away back down the field for Tipperary. Munster champions, looking for 2 in a row, something of a rarity for Tip in recent times. Tony Brown slides in, is fouled, free out. It heats up again as Tony confronts John O'Brien there, and they exchange angry glances. In points, it's 15 points to 14. 112, as you can see, to 14 points. And a rip-roaring contest at Páirc Uí Chaoimh, where the weather has dried appreciably. Some great pictures here.
Walsh back to the goalie. I don't think a lot of supporters like to see that.
It's back once again. Paul O'Brien, that time managed to stay out somehow. Good work by Brendan Cummins. And Paul O'Brien looking for another championship goal against Tipperary. but it's up there with Michael Brick-Walsh under ferocious pressure from Bonner Marr. He put the head down. On comes Shane Burke, one corner forward for another. Shane Burke will have a red helmet when you see him in a moment.
Yeah, he's a very good player, Shane Burke, and I think Tip have a substitution strategy. It was the same the last day, to bring on certain players at certain times, and Brian O'Mara has done very well, but Shane Burke now in fresh legs for the last 20, and this is the way Tip have been playing all year.
Owen Kelly's come to take this free. Every opportunity vital now, and this one's over the bar just inside the left-hand post. First of the match for Owen Kelly, denied a goal earlier on. Tipperary have strengthened their bench. Do Waterford have the same kind of strength? We'll soon find out. They've made two changes. Owen Kelly and Paul O'Brien's come on, and this is O'Brien. The two changes are in the forwards, dancing away from Conor O'Brien, and he loses it, and the opportunity is gone, and Tipperary can counter with Brendan Marr. Stopped here by Michael Brick-Walsh. There's a great pace and a great intensity to this match. Good final. Brendan Marr runs into a couple of Waterford players.